Well, as a photographer, I like a lot. I was hard pushed which picture to take, because first implication, I think, is to provide a picture of reality that unearths some reality. So if you look here, it's a photography, but it's highly arranged. Not only how the camera works, but also how everything is cleaned up and so on. So I think that's what good academic work does. Say something about a phenomenon, but say it in a way that makes it really clear what the essential thing is you want to unearth, explain, show, whatever. The second thing, if you look actually into the picture, I would say, yes, one of the implications really is that it has already and will continue to be very fragmented, that everybody sits at his or her little screen, does her little thing, and it becomes a highly fragmented exercise. And that's probably a bit dystopian, but it is what it is. And I think, again, events like this are maybe the best antidote for this.
Yeah, really interesting, fascinating. It reminds me of your previous photo too, some really nice with the perspective and the squares. It has some interesting connotations. Andreas.
So yeah, that's about engaged research, and the main point is that if you followed my previous note on who not to believe, so then the question is how many people are left that you can believe that are permanently funded. Because it's nice to have an NGO that has one project for 2 years, but then has to raise more money, so the ability to believe them is a little bit lower because the company might pay the money. So tenured faculty is a good bet there, and then it's some religious leaders and others that are permanently funded and that are believable without conflicts of interest. And so I personally feel that the need, personally, and I recommend it to others, to do engaged research. And so this is an evening meeting of the Technical Expert Group on Sustainable Finance in Brussels, where we engage in discussions about sustainable finance policy.
Okay, excellent. So we're on the right track with our evening.
It's only one group. It's 20% of that whole group.
Great, great. Well, I love that you're in one of them too. So this is hearing our truth. And Janelle, the implications for research about food, knowledge, and how we've thrived on the margins.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the reports of the Arctic Council, and so now their mandate, every product of each of the working groups has to combine scientific and traditional knowledge. And so this is a really fantastic example that came out earlier this year, and it's I think making the point that Vanessa highlighted yesterday, that there's tremendous value in traditional knowledge about things like culinary form, how do people survive on hostile or very difficult landscapes. And so it's I mean, a rich resource of kind of culinary knowledge and traditional history. But it also won the 2018 Gourmand Award in France for sort of culinary aesthetics. I thought it was a really terrific example of how to combine scientific and traditional knowledge.
And then on the implications, what are you?
Yeah, so I think that those are the implications for research, is that we have to find a way to reconnect with knowledge that is aware of the planet, that is aware of its boundaries, and of how to live in a sustainable way with the planet.
Yeah, fantastic. And we've heard a lot of that echoed with both different work on place and what Tina's doing in Hightown and different people. So, of course, our Indigenous guests. So. Okay, so Jerry, see this one again.
I know that one.
We have a little insight into it this time. So.
Statue of Liberty.
So this is in the interests of sustainability. I believe in reduce, reuse, recycle, and that applies to my anecdotes and my pictures as well. So this is. So in this case, I was just thinking, my claim about this picture is that it's a good metaphor for the way that we use simple categories for trying to make sense of a complicated world. So we've got simple boxes, and then we take them out to this world. And I think our theories also have this sort of confirmation bias aspect to them, and that we have simple theories that we try to apply globally, and things can go wrong. So the most cited article published in economics in the last 50 years is one that no one in an economics department would guess. It's Jensen and Meckling's paper, supposedly Theory of the Firm. Honestly, it's been cited 60,000 times, so the only close competitor is Hal White's paper on heteroscedastic errors. So really widely cited, but no one in real economics has ever read this thing. Ask an econ graduate student, it's only business and law schools. And there's something odd about this paper because it was published in volume 3 of a Vanity Press journal, the Journal of Financial Economics. It's a University of Rochester's House organ. And then the authors were the editor of the journal and the dean of the school. So it's basically a self-published novel that became the most cited article ever in the last half century. Like, that just seems crazy on the face of it. But what's weirder is that this is a theory of the firm that applies to publicly traded corporations with widely dispersed ownership. And the question is, how is it that you motivate them to create more shareholder value? And then they point to a set of mechanisms. So they're describing a situation that only applied in the United States and nowhere else in the world. And it only applied to a tiny proportion of firms. So it's like a theory of the family that applies to the Kardashians only. Like, why would you have a theory of the firm that applies to American dispersed ownership? But then the weird thing is, once you've got this simple model, then you see researchers saying, let's apply it in China. Let's look for agency problems and dispersed ownerships like FFS, as you young people say. Why are you applying this completely idiosyncratic American theory to China? For God's sakes, understand the context better. And as an editor, it was always dispiriting to get a simple-minded theory that doesn't even apply in the US, but then going global to sort of do damage. So maybe that's colonizing, I don't know. But anyway, that's what this said to me. Sorry.